Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLBPA apparel. Welcome to episode 43, the long-awaited, much-anticipated Fan Rant Playoff Edition, Week 18 reactions, and a look into the AFC and NFC playoff picture, or the playoff matchups, I should say. 6 NFL coaches fired since this last Monday. In the sports history segment, got 5 fast facts for you. In the things that sting, we have an Antonio Brown update. Kevon Pope, the OG AB, took to Twitter during the Rose Bowl. Yet another NFL player gets a DUI. That's becoming a weekly thing. Josh McDaniels gets called out by a former player for cheating.
Shocker.
Who would have thought? And a couple rap artists make the things that sting this week, too.
Okay.
In my hive, we have 12 guests coming on. Only 6 will return next week as the playoff fan rant happens in the final segment of the show. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
This week's opening segment brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. The fan rant is full.
I'm happy.
I couldn't believe it. We got a Bengals fan last night. Huge kudos to Chad Stewart from the Going for Two podcast. My Canadian friends, they set me up with, I think, 3 or 4 of these people. I lost count, but they got me the Cardinals guy for sure. Bengals. They might have even gotten me Philly and the Bucks. I don't know. Maybe it was when I posted on one of the page. I got one of those guys, but I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure the Philly and Bucks guy are co-hosts on another podcast, and they're going against each other. So that would be pretty funny to watch, actually.
Well, that'll be us in 5 weeks
at the Super Bowl. Bold prediction, my friend. Berman would love it, like you said.
He would. Yeah. It's prediction 25 years in the making.
Yeah, it sure is. So I'm here in Easton. You like my hotel
Beautiful
room?
House. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I've been playing the shit out of that piano behind me, actually.
Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, no. This so I look choppy. I'm gonna look this way the whole show because I don't have a green screen, but I'm using virtual backgrounds. Whatever. It is what it is. If I disappear, I think I can kind of make myself disappear a little bit. But so that's what's going on. Also, with that said, I am on a hotel Wi-Fi, so if I get kicked off the show, it's all yours. Strong takeover.
Yeah, okay, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
But no, so I'm in Easton for training, and most of you who follow the Facebook page saw the photo that I shared Sunday night. There's this bar called Volpe's. Made friends with this guy named Russ. He's the Bills Backers chapter president at Lehigh Valley Bills Backers, and there's 25, 30 Bills fans there. And if you read the comments I put in there, the older lady, the elderly lady who is holding the sign in the photo that I put up is Joyce. She's the mother of Andre Reed.
That's pretty awesome.
It was wild. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And according to Russ, he said that the place will be even more packed this coming week. He's thinking between 60 and 80 Bills fans. But there are also a bunch from down here that are going to the game. So nice. maybe that number will be a little bit smaller. But so with that, we get into AFC. Going to start with AFC. I'm going to run through that. Sketty's going to chime in, of course, and then he's going to handle the NFC. Bills locked up the East. Bengals gave up the 3 seed. That was something that we kind of thought could happen anyways. With the Bengals kind of, they seemed content. They rested a bunch of guys. Didn't really give a fuck about that game. It didn't seem like. I think Zach Taylor was just happy to have a playoff team.
Yep, I agree.
Which is fine. I'll take, whatever. But Yeah, so there's really not much to say regarding those two games. The Colts, though, that is where the drama began. The Steelers win in overtime, of course. So, but they need a bunch of cards to fall their way. Excuse me. The Colts blow it in Jacksonville. Darren, if you're
I did
listening,
take a little.
Oh, Darren's already on here.
I did take a little shot at Darren before. He shared the post about the fan rant tonight, and I said, "Man, Darren, you were so close to being on here."
He was going to be. He was Colts guy. So,
little gif of a Jags fan.
He did.
He knew it was happening.
He did know it was going to happen. He completely called this. So it was, good prediction, I guess, Darren. But yeah, they absolutely blow it to the Jags, which opens the door for this domino effect of things that could happen. And starting with Raiders Chargers, of course. Dave Sherman, I believe it was, posted on Facebook and said it best: nobody does drama like the NFL, and it sure went down to it. So like I said, the Steelers get that win in Baltimore. The only way they can't make the playoffs at this point now is if the Chargers and Raiders tie. Who would have fucking thought? Almost happened.
The worst part was it wasn't like they were trying to tie either. Like that was a fucking awesome
shootout.
game.
Yeah, the Raiders
it was the second best game of the day.
Yeah, they had several opportunities to put the Chargers away, and they just kept calling back. The controversial timeout at the end of I shouldn't say at the end, but with less than a minute to go in overtime.
It's 37 seconds, yeah.
37 seconds. The Raiders at that point are out of field goal range or close to.
It was like 60-yarder it would have been from there.
But it sounded like if you saw the video of Austin Eckler after the game was over, when that timeout was called, even Derek Carr kind of looked over like, yeah, what do you guys do? What's going on here? So
they were content to play that to a tie. I fully believe, just watching the Raiders, how they were hustling to the line or not hustling to the line, actually play calling. Yeah. They were totally content to not make a mistake and that thing in a tie.
And you can see that in that video where they show Austin Eckler talking to one of the Raiders. And if you're reading lips, it looks as though he asks that. And that the Raiders player responds like, yeah, dude, we were letting the clock run out.
Yeah.
And Eckler's response, his face, you could tell like, oh, fuck. So,
well, Staley said that he wanted to get his personnel in because he knew they were going to run one. He felt they were going to run one more play and then kick the field goal. So he's thinking, I guess anyway, his logic is let's stop the run here. So it's going to be a long field goal. And maybe they don't even try to kick it. But like, how embarrassing is that? You stopped the game, you stopped the clock, and then you got gashed for whatever, a 10, 12-yard run. I mean, I would have just been like, no, I was trying to get the ball back and win. Like, lie at that point.
Yeah. It was, he's taken a lot of a flack for that timeout. And I didn't get into reading it, but I did see some sort of article today regarding his apparently arrogance, and that a lot of owners, I can't remember who said it, but somebody put out some sort of comment regarding Staley and saying that he would be fired by any other owner because of his arrogance. So I'm not saying that played a role in any of this, but it just he coached himself out of a playoff spot. If he would have just let things play out, it would have been a different outcome.
He's kind of me. He's kind of like I'll use AB as an example. When you make these calls all season long where you're going for it on fourth down, on your own 20 and doing stupid stuff like that, this timeout to get the right defense in that he's saying, that just gets magnified. That gets blown out of proportion. And you start saying, what the hell are you doing? Are you out coaching yourself? So it comes with the territory. You're going to do gutsy stuff. You got to live with it when it doesn't work out.
So the Steelers find a way.
I said all year, I told you guys all year, this garbage team will find some BS way to get in. And they did it. It was the most BS way ever.
They did it.
And sure enough, they found a way to get in.
And they're 12-point underdogs in their first game.
Yep. Not bad.
Not bad, yeah. So Steelers are in. We got 2 AFC matchups Saturday, Raiders at Bengals. And then the night game, New England at Buffalo. 1 AFC matchup Sunday, which is the night game. Chiefs host the Steelers. We're not going to get into too much of a matchup breakdown because we're going to be doing that in the three-bagger episode following episode 43. You know how it works. We go back live right away, go through each game against the spread. Well, typically we do 3 apiece, but we decided since it's a playoff round, we're just going to kind of give a little blip on each game and where we're leaning spread-wise as far as that goes. So, of course, I'm excited for Saturday. That's what I'm really looking forward for.
I'm happy it's a primetime game.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's like ratings wise, I think it's going to be one of the better matchups like that people are going to tune into. You know, like you look at I'm not saying the Raiders, but I think the Bengals. Of course, I didn't even know they had a fan until I met Miles, who's going to be on. I was sure they were all bots. That was all there was to it because none of them would communicate. And so yeah, the Bengals hosting a playoff game. It's nice seeing some of these teams. Somebody mentioned to me, and I can't remember who it was. Might have even been somebody in my class that I'm currently at. That it's kind of cool seeing some of these teams that had success in the early '90s making their way back into the playoff world. The Raiders, the Bengals, Bills being 3 as far as the AFC goes. But yeah, so it's a good weekend to look forward to. It'll give us a bunch to talk about next week, obviously. So let's slide on into the NFC.
NFC, obviously, what the Bucks beat the Panthers, I believe. There wasn't a lot of drama go on there.
No.
Bucks win. Cowboys beat up on the Eagles, who were playing their backups because they're locked into the playoffs. The real drama came in with the Cardinals losing to the Seahawks, which basically eliminated any chance of them winning the division, which the Rams did their part to lose for them. That's just too damn bad. That was the game of the week, the biggest drama. The Niners got a win to get in because, of course, the Falcons just blow it against the Saints. And they pull off the 17-point comeback, win the thing in overtime. It was just one of the most fucking awesome games I've ever watched.
It was on a side TV at that Volpe's place. So, I'd look up periodically, and I remember when I saw it was 17-0, and I was like, oh, shit. Now
McVay is celebrating, and I think I don't know if I was texting you or who I was texting, but I said, McVay is in the end zone celebrating. The ref warns him, like, hey, get off the field. I think it was the second touchdown they scored. And I'm like, holy shit, this is this guy's Super Bowl. Like, this is it for him. He was acting like they were going to win the big one. And then the Niners just got it together a little bit, fucking claw their way back in. That Rams sideline in the second half, I've never seen a team look so dejected. Like, it looked like someone shot their dog. Like, everybody was just down until the Ramsey pick late. They got it going a little bit. They thought they were going to come back. Yeah, but they were just dejected. They were, the camera showing the sideline, and it just no one is up. No one's screaming, "Hey, let's get this shit together." It was just like they knew what was coming.
What oh shit! Now I don't remember exactly what I had a thought. Go ahead.
Well, so that kind of covered the week 18. Going into the playoffs, we got the Bucks Eagles, which should be a better matchup than I think the NFL is giving it credit for. I mean, I think the Bucks are like 8-point favorites right now.
8.5.
They're pretty banged up right now. Fournette might be back, so that'll be a pretty good game.
No AB.
Obviously, no AB. Niners Cowboys. That's the Sunday afternoon game, which I think is going to be a pretty solid game. That's kind of very different stylistic matchups there. We'll see who can win out. The Niners physical ground and pound game, or the Cowboys high flying, number one offense in the NFL. And then the game that I don't really care about, but should be pretty good, the Monday night game. You have the Rams and the Cardinals, a little divisional matchup, kind of like the Bills Pats.
Yeah, I was going to share it on the Facebook page, and I forgot to. But last night I hopped on with Matt Ramage for a while, and we were just talking. It was a group of like 8 of us. It was a lot of fun. They were all Packers fans. I was the only Bills fan, but I gave them a little ode to Micah Hyde, and they appreciated that. But what I said to them is I just can't get on board with this Monday night wild card game at all. I think it puts whoever wins that game is that it's a day disadvantage that they're at, and I don't think it's great. I don't like it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
the playoffs.
the one guy
This is the playoffs.
the one guy I'm with you, I think even brought it up. I would be shocked to see whoever wins that Monday night game not play in one of the Sunday games.
They have to.
But
they have to.
Yeah. But it is a major disadvantage. I was shocked they did it. It's the league just cares about money. That's all there is to it.
Right.
They're trying to
It's
milk this for as much as they can. But
more primetime spots.
I mean, let's be real. The way the Rams and the Cardinals are playing, neither of them probably going to the Super Bowl anyway. So who cares if they're at the disadvantage? It ain't going to matter.
Anything else NFC to note?
I don't think so.
I'm with you on the Philly Tampa game that I think that could be, and I know I'd said no AB, but the Bucs have not been looking like the Bucs, that were rolling into the playoffs before.
Yeah, which Brady always can turn it on, but yeah, they haven't looked very hot. Which I don't think Philly's very good. They kind of are like Pittsburgh to me, like they got in, but it's kind of like, okay, you got in over the Saints, who were
right, and if they don't change the format, the Steelers and the Eagles are sitting at home.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but you never know. Philly has the number one rush offense in the league, so anything could happen.
Coaches, Black Monday, 6 fired since then, not all of them on Monday. There was one just like 2 hours ago, David Culley. So David Culley fired from the Texans. Joe Judge gets let go from the Giants. The Dolphins fire Flores. Vikings fire Zimmer. Bears fire Nagy. Broncos fire Vic Fangio. We'll touch on the Flores one in a minute also. But so if you're counting the Raiders having an interim coach and the Jaguars interim coach, there's 8 positions open by my math. 8 coaching jobs that are going to be up for grabs this coming off season. Now, I did read a lot too that, and I should have wrote down his name because I cannot remember it, but the Raiders coach, the interim coach who took over, has made a pretty good argument for him to retain that spot in a full-time capacity, which I agree with. I think three arrests, fired head coach, just mountains and mountains of drama.
I really think it's down to Mike Vrabel's probably going to win Coach of the Year. But again, can't come up with the Raiders guy's name off the top of my head. But I think there's a case that could be made for him to win it, to get his team to the playoffs, facing everything that they faced.
A lot of adversity.
He's got to be one too, I would think. Zach Taylor maybe, but.
So some of the candidates, which I jotted down a few of those, coaches who would be recycled coming from past jobs. Doug Peterson's name. Jim Harbaugh has confirmed that he has interest in returning to the NFL, which we discussed that I think beating Ohio State was that was like his he's content now. He's accomplished everything he's needed to accomplish in college football.
Yep.
He's like it'll be like the next time McVay beats the Niners.
Yeah. There ain't gonna be no next time, buddy. But when he's a coach for who? Like maybe down the road he'll be like, I don't know, like the Raiders coach at some point in time. Who? He ain't going to beat him with McVay.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to lose it. They're going to fire him. That's what's going to happen.
They're not going to fire McVay.
Can't beat the Niners. He ain't going to win a Super Bowl.
I mean,
they're going to be hot garbage in 2 years when they realize, we don't have any picks and we just have 35-year-old washed up superstars. They're going to shit can him because they're going to be god awful.
I've always criticized Snead, his approach.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can even afford to pay people to fucking usher people to their seats.
Eric Weddle just came out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. But so Peterson, Harbaugh, and Todd Bowles, which Todd Bowles, I wouldn't hate if another team gave him a chance. I think it's fucking career suicide anytime you jump on with the Jets. Saleh is going to realize that here in the next couple of years when they have another bad year, and that's a team that just doesn't wait anybody out. As soon as you start losing, you're fucking gone. So yeah, Bowles, and then some of the candidates who would be first time. You have Eric Bieniemy, whose name's been brought up for the past 3 years. Joe Lombardi, Byron Leftwich, both of the coordinators from Buffalo, Brian Dable and Leslie Frazier, have been requested to be interviewed. Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator from the Giants, Kevin O'Connell, the Rams offensive coordinator, and Greg Roman, who was an offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Do not recommend, but they're not going to listen to me. So if they want to hire him, go fucking right ahead.
He was an offensive coordinator at San Francisco for a little bit.
Josh chimed in. Rich, how the fuck do you say that, Sketty? Bisaccia? Bisaccia. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the Raiders coach that we couldn't figure out. So thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. So yeah, I don't know.
I think you skipped Kellen Moore. I think his name's been up there.
Kellen Moore was on there. I just refused to write it down because when I looked at his face just upsets me for some reason.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think
if Dallas was smart, they'd fire McCarthy and promote.
Yes. Yep. Well, after the Niners take care of business this weekend, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
It might
McCarthy would be the biggest. Will be, and we'll get into that in three bagger. But I think that's the biggest obstacle for the Cowboys in the playoffs is their head coach.
Yep.
Hunter says Dan Quinn also a candidate. Yep. That makes sense.
I still think, like now with all these firings, I think, Brian Flores, I'd be surprised if he doesn't get one of these jobs.
Flores is not going to sit a year like some of these guys do.
No.
He's going to be a hot commodity for sure. I know the Bears already requested to speak to him, and I think the Texans I read too are like real high on getting
this. I was just going to say this. David Coley's another one that I think could get a job. That surprised me. He did well with what he had there.
Yeah, Coley. I agree with you, Flo Show. David Coley firing actually kind of surprised me as well. I talked about it yesterday on Ramage with Watson. We'll know within the next 2 weeks when that grand jury date is getting set. So his case is coming to a head here sooner than later. But Davis Mills Mafia. He showed some flashes for a young guy. So he's no Watson. I'm not saying he's a Watson, but if you're taking over a team, and you have what you have, then
he's going to make it tough for someone to acquire Watson. I think, like if you're the Dolphins, let's just say this works out and Watson still wants out. Do you want Tua or do you want Davis Mills? Like, it's not, to me, that's like, I would just say keep Tua. Just give me another pick. That means nothing to me anymore.
Well, the problem too, that we're going to run into in the Texans situation is if you're hoping to take over that team and have knowledge of what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson prior to the draft because you want to unload him maybe. And if that's the case, it's probably not going to happen. I would be shocked. I mean, we haven't even had the grand jury decision on whether there's going to be charges filed or not. So if you're taking that job in hopes of him, maybe there being no charges, no case, and they move forward with him non-criminally, then that's one thing. But if there's still the possibility that he has to have a trial scheduled and go through that whole, dog and pony show. So
Watson could at least say to the new coach or say to the organization, hey, you bring in like Brian Flores. Hey, I like Brian Flores. You bring him in. I'm not going to request a trade anymore. Like I'll be content to play for. And then it becomes will there be a suspension? Won't there be a suspension? Back
when, this whole piece was taking place, you had one of the gripes that there was he wanted Bieniemy, and then it came out that he wanted a black coach, and then they get Cully, and then he said, well, I didn't want Cully. So it's like, how the fuck do we, you can't make the guy happy. But again, like the Flow Show said right here with Davis Mills, Davis Mills played well. So
he did.
You might have something there. Flores in developing quarterbacks, we'll see how that goes because I'm not saying he worked hand in hand with Tua, but I think most people thought Tua was a bag of shit to begin with. So,
well, I think this is kind of a side note, but since we're on the Flores thing, I thought that was a pretty bad firing by Miami. Like you looked like pretty big clowns firing Flores. The only way this can get worse for them is if they hire Jim Harbaugh. because the whole reason that they're coming out and saying Flores was fired was because he couldn't get along with the GM. The players didn't like him because he was too hard on them, which is exactly what happened to Jim Harbaugh. Despite the success he had in San Francisco, the GM didn't like him. The players got sick of, the whole grab your lunch pail, we're going to work kind of thing. They thought, hey, we're good now. We don't need to do this anymore. Went 8-8, they shit canned him. So if that's what turns you off in a coach, Jim Harbaugh is not your guy. You hire him, you look like even bigger clowns.
Darren asks, how do you guys feel about the timing of coaching interviews right when the playoffs start? Think it serves as a distraction at all? I definitely do. And actually, Terry Pagula, and I believe Kim probably made the motion because she is the team president, but at the owners' meetings, they put in an article or whatever they call it for the rules of NFL rules to not allow that to happen. And it didn't gain any traction from anybody. And I don't understand why, because I think it's, I agree with them in saying that this poses a problem. You have a guy thinking about his long-term future when you want him stuck in short-term, week to week. Like, let's, focus on next opponent. And
yeah, I agree with that, but I think it also goes both ways. Like, Dable probably would have had a job. Bieniemy probably would have had a job, but they go on these deep playoff runs. Teams want to get coaches hired now.
right.
And it's like, we're not going to hire you if you're going to the Super Bowl and you can't leave until after that. I just think it hurts them. And, especially now that the NFL is giving out draft picks, if you hire a minority coach, you want to see your guys get promoted, but you want to see it happen. If it's going to happen, you want to get that pick for it too. It's hurting teams. So I think that's probably owner's logic behind that motion.
Neighbor Tim texted me this morning and asked also, we were just talking Bills, and he said, what do we get if Frazier and Dable both go?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, we don't get shit for Dable.
Yep.
Dable
Yeah,
goes,
exactly. You get nothing,
but
Frazier's...
the Bills would actually, if Frazier gets hired, the Bills would actually get a compensatory
pick. Yeah,
I can't say that word. It's like cinnamon for some
compensatory, people. I think compensatory, I believe is it.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
It's close enough.
Yeah, we're close. so they get a third round pick for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
So I think as an owner, like I would be saying the same thing. Like the Chiefs, Bieniemy should have probably been hired someplace by now.
Well, he should have, but
whether you think it's smart or not, but
the thing is if you want the guy, then wait it out another 3-4 weeks.
That's what I've never understood.
I don't see how that could set where their line of thinking is that's going to set an organization back so far. If we just don't fucking get one right now, we need to. That's just doesn't make sense to me.
It happened to Saleh. I mean, when the Niners went to the Super Bowl, there was big talks about him going and being a head coach, and it was like teams didn't want to wait. All the jobs filled up, and then the next year, don't go to the playoffs. It's like, okay, Jets, we'll hire him.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps us up for opening. You got anything else you want to add?
Nope.
You're good. We got to cruise along. I don't want to rush segments at all tonight, but we got a strict schedule with Fan Rant, so we're going to blow through sports history.
I'd love to sit here and talk shit on James for a couple hours, but I guess we got to just
move on to
the next segment.
All right, this week's opening segment brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week. 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. We can take a quick break, minute and a half. We'll be right back with sports history.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza. Voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment to tell you about our new website, YourDailyLocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. Blowing through them. Do you like my background?
Love it.
You know
Love
why I chose this one?
Why'd you chat? Why?
Because it's the only Patriots that fucking matter. That's why. That's right.
I love that. Love that.
Eat it, Hunter. Number 1, 1945. The Kentucky Wildcats men's basketball team set an NCAA record by holding Arkansas State to 6 points in a 75-6 win. You know what didn't happen in 1945? That coach didn't get suspended or fired or trashed in the media for being a bully. None of those things happened. He just went on to the next game. Number 2, 1952. Marines give notice that they will recall Ted Williams to active duty. Chalk this up as another thing that we will never see happen in today's world. Just, all those guys left, went overseas.
Yeah.
Just won't happen again.
Yep.
Number 3, 1961. The first NFL playoff bowl. It was called the Runner-Up Bowl. Detroit beat Cleveland 17-16.
Hey, that's quite the matchup there.
Not great, but they were runners up. They were runners up apparently in 1961. 1962, the NFL prohibits grabbing of face masks. So, for clarification here, they added face masks permanently to helmets in the late 50s. So there was like 3 years or 4 years where it was just
people were just getting
tearing heads off. Nobody cared.
I like
all
it.
Good. Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
Number 5, and last but not least, 1995, the OJ murder trial begins. We've gone over that entire trial on this show before. But like I said,
Bills and Niners great.
He was
our common bond.
I always kind of laugh because right now we're dealing with records being broken after a game was added. Once we get so far down the line, then people won't complain about that shit anymore because OJ 14 games was the first for over 2,000 in a 14-game regular season. So
which I think a lot of like older people, will tell you, well, the records don't really, these guys weren't as good as OJ or I'm trying to think of other 14 games. I can't think of any other 14-game records off the top of my head. Like Jim Brown's seasons,
undefeated season.
Undefeated season. Yep. Yeah, that was 14-game season. Yep, there's one. Yep.
All right, let's roll, shall we?
Absolutely.
We're into the things that sting. This week's sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. Another minute and a half quick break for some commercials, and we'll be back with the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's East Side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of the Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. Several to get to. We'll mow through them because we're about 20 minutes out from the fan rant, and I can't fucking wait for that shit. So, AB update. We dove into this last week. Everybody who listened to last week's episode and the Things That Sting, we talked about AB and his, going off the rails, that whole ordeal. So makes an appearance since the last show, since the last update on this. Makes an appearance on the Full Send podcast, holding a stack of cash in pure AB fashion. So asks the question, and this is in his own words, why is AB on a prove it deal? So he's now third personing himself, which is fantastic. And then says, who's better than me over there? He says, Tom's my boy. Gronk's his boy, too. Gronk's not on a prove it deal. He did clarify later that him and Brady are close friends, but it was well after he fucking just straight shoved him right under the bus. Further, he said on being asked to play in the USFL, quote, bro, listen, I'm Antonio Brown, bro. I played football at the highest. You just asked me for a sorry-ass club to play in the Arena League? End quote.
God bless him.
Yeah. So, of course, too, what comes out in between now and then, a couple things. First, we're gonna go in the order they happened. The OnlyFans model comes out and tells this elaborate story how Saturday night prior to the Jets game, she snuck into his hotel. He got her by team security and everything through the elevator. He begs for her to record them having sex. She does. I think she actually kind of trashed him too and said it was like 30, less than a minute, man, kind of deal.
It might have been, but like we're talking about the same OnlyFans model who was licking a toilet plate or a toilet seat.
You mentioned that. Tell what is that about?
So like at the beginning of COVID, I just remember seeing this come up. I don't remember what it was, but beginning of COVID, she called it the COVID challenge, and she was like licking a toilet seat on a plane and was trying to get people to do that, I guess, or I don't know, she's trying to be funny or what the hell gross shit she was doing. But the funny part about it is, so not only is she a toilet licker, Antonio Brown must have a toilet fetish, because on that podcast, he was talking about how the Bucs didn't bring him here to fix toilets or flush toilets or whatever the hell he said about toilets. They brought me here to play football, win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking in my head, a little something funny going on.
Now, I don't know if you saw, it was today or yesterday, I can't remember which. He came out and said that he was asked again about his outburst at the Meadowlands there, MetLife or whatever it's called now. And he said, yeah, it was probably unnecessary. Yeah.
He's got a week cool off time.
Man, for real. Because he did nothing but start more fires the entire time, like since then. And now he's just kind of backtracking a little bit. But I don't know. Kevon Pope. If you remember, this was on an episode in September. Kevon Pope was the linebacker for the Ohio State Buckeyes that the original, the OG AB is what I'm calling him, because he was the first guy to rip his shit off and storm off the field right in the middle of a game.
Yep.
There was a win against Akron. He, as soon as he gets to the locker room, grabs his phone, tweets, "Fuck Ohio State." So during the Rose Bowl against Utah, Pope's back on Twitter. Says, only go to Ohio State if you want to be, and he listed highly disrespected by staff, treated unfairly, looked at as a hoodlum, treated as if you aren't a high caliber player, and in quotes he put, I am. And players and a player's point of view can't be seen. So Kevon Pope, the OGAB, has broken his silence, since he went off the deep end there back in September. So it's kind of fun. These guys are like syncing shit together. I think,
I love it.
I think they should reach out to each other.
They need a podcast.
They do need a fucking podcast. I would listen. Another week, another NFL player gets a DUI. Seahawks backup quarterback Geno Smith this past Monday is pulled over by the Washington State Patrol, stopped at 2 a.m. for erratic driving, noted 96 miles an hour in a, well, it didn't say which zone, 40 over posted. If you want to do the math, I don't. Switching lanes without signaling. Officers detected a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, bloodshot, watery eyes, admitted to drinking wine earlier. During standard field sobriety testing, becomes agitated. He's then taken back to the police department where he told an officer, quote, he looked like he had a little bit of Down syndrome. Smith then refused the blood draw, so a search warrant was applied for and granted by a judge. He's then transported to the hospital, agitated again. At this point, the police had contacted the Seahawks director of team security, who was also on scene during this, and in an attempt to calm him down, nothing could. He's restrained. The blood is drawn to complete the process, during which a couple quotes that were thrown in the police report were, quote, I'll fuck every one of y'all up. You don't want to see me out of these cuffs. You don't want to know what will happen. Side note, everybody who's placed in handcuffs at one point was not in handcuffs. I just like to add that in there because a lot of people, I mean, I've heard that on the job. A lot of people have heard that. A lot of law enforcement officers have heard that on the job. As soon as you get a guy in cuffs, fucking take him off. Guy. Yeah.
Yep.
Coming at you. Okay. Well, he was then taken to King County Corrections and in 100% pure Washington fashion, released on $1,000 bail. Smith then took to Twitter. What?
I was gonna say he should have just robbed some. He should have just robbed someone. They would have said, "Well, he needed it more than you." See ya.
Right.
You're on your way.
It's Washington. So Smith takes to Twitter, requests his fans hold judgment as you would with a family member or close friend, and he has more to say down the road. His attorney, in pure attorney fashion, says, my client has been fully cooperative for the entire investigation.
All right.
Sounds like it. Yeah. So good call on that one. Oh, I lost my banners here. All right, here we go. Josh McDaniels. Ex-Bronco linebacker DJ Williams appears on the I Am Athlete podcast, claims Denver was cheating under Josh McDaniels. In 2010, McDaniels and the Broncos were fined $50,000 after a team staffer, Steve Scarnecchia, got caught filming the 49ers practice in London. Scarnecchia was also, I want to call him Michael Scarn.
Okay.
Isn't that what Michael Scott calls himself on The Office? Isn't that like his fucking secret agent
I don't
character?
remember that. Maybe. I don't remember that if it is.
I thought you loved The Office. You should know the answer to this.
I do love The Office. Don't recall that.
I'm pretty sure it's Michael Scarn. I'm 90.
Where's Devin when we need her?
I don't know. She's probably not listening. So I don't blame her. She's not really her cup. So anyways, Scarnecchia was involved in the New England Spygate, went to Denver with McDaniels. Williams' claim, this is where it gets a little, maybe this isn't completely true. Williams claims they were 6-0, got caught, lost to the 49ers, and it fucked the whole season. Problem with that, he has a couple years mixed up here. So in 2009, they started 6-0, finished 2-8. But didn't play the 49ers until the 2010 season where they were 2-5 heading into that game. So if they were cheating, not very well. And McDaniels was fired a month later and rejoined New England, where he's probably cheating again. Good luck filming Buffalo. Your cameras won't work in the fucking ice cold. And they're just going to get their asses kicked anyways. Real quick one here. Nakobe Dean. Caught on camera rocking a Alabama championship hat.
Somebody messed up.
Well, did they, or is Nakobe Dean just like, check this shit out? Like, did it intentionally to be a dick? I would appreciate it if he did. I think that'd be funny.
I guess I didn't look at it close enough. like to see if it was from this year or if he had one from a previous year. But like they do make like championship stuff from both teams before the game, and then they have to. Yeah. So like it's possible that something got handed out wrong. I don't know.
Either way, funny. And he was the only one seen wearing one. So, yeah, I don't know. One in the wrong box, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that's
Darren
possible.
Francisco says Michael Scarn. Isn't that what I said? That's what I said, right? Yeah.
Michael you said, yep.
All right. These last two are just for fun. Kodak Black. This was sent to me by Hunter, and it happened at a Florida Panthers hockey game. So it is relevant to sports, right? A video emerged of him up in his suite that he had for this game, and it looks like he's taking girlfriend to Pound Town. An alternate view was later posted where she was just twerking on him, but she had on like a very short dress. So it did, from the one across the arena, the camera definitely looked like a little PDA was taking place, but it wasn't. It was debunked, but it's still funny. And, going to a Panthers game, taking the kids. Oh, look, Kodak Black. Oh, look, that, not great. Have you heard about this?
This one's good and smart. I like it. Intelligent.
All right. So can't take credit for the headline. I definitely stole that from distractified.com. Devin texted me this in a group text with us and the Nordines, and she was just kind of laughing about it. She was like, I seriously just read this headline. So Drake is facing, and I said, I'm talking about this on tonight's show. She goes, why is it relevant? Drake's a huge sports fan, right? Raptors season tickets. Yeah, he
loves to love teams that don't win championships.
Correct.
He hops on the bandwagon just a little too early.
Too late. Too early or too
one
late?
Of the too early, because he's usually caught repping like someone's shirt and then they lose.
Okay, so
the curse of Drake.
Drake has a lawsuit filed against him, or alleged. There's no like real backing of this yet, but it sounds like it's going to happen. An Instagram model who they met on Instagram, started DMing, get into start meeting up or whatever. She comes over, they go out to some event or something like that. Then they go back to the hotel, get it on. Drake immediately goes into the bathroom, removes the condom he was using, pours hot sauce in the condom, and throws it in the garbage. He comes out, she goes in, and is attempting to impregnate herself with Drake's sperm that was in the condom, and burns the shit out of herself. And now she's she's trying to sue. And when she started yelling, this is the story I read, she starts yelling. Drake goes running in like, what the hell is going on? And she's like, what the hell is in your condom? And he's like, hot sauce, because I was trying to kill the sperm. So like Drake clearly has some fear of a female stealing his seed.
As he should. She was trying to do it. This isn't a fucking unrealistic fear.
Right. Yeah.
He's obviously doing it for a reason.
Yeah. So the opinions in the group text of the wife, she says he needs to reevaluate who he's hanging out with and whatnot. But how was he to know,
Well, obviously it's someone tried to do it before and he realized or someone said, hey, do this because girls will do that and try and milk you for money, which once again, if she wouldn't have done that, she wouldn't have got the hot sauce up herself and everything would be fine. So if she was trying to be a dirtbag, she got everything she deserved.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I think it's a brilliant plan by Drake.
I love it.
I mean, maybe if Brandon Jacobs or not Brandon Jacobs, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, Antonio Cromartie, Travis Henry.
Yep.
If they would have known this, they didn't wear condoms. That's why they have 25 kids between the three of them. But
I just want to know, when he's carrying around a hot sauce, just sitting in the bathroom.
That was one of the tweets I saw. One of the tweets I saw was the best part about this story is that Drake carries around hot sauce.
You would think there's got to be some other thing that they make for this. And he's like, nah, man, just little Franks. Franks red hot. We're good.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Unbelievable.
All right, it's fan rant time. So we're gonna real quick. This edition of Things That Sting, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. So we're going to go into our in-between segment video. I have to start shooting emails to get all these people in here. So we'll be back here in, less than 5 minutes and get the fan rant started. All right, we're still getting the oh shit, I totally screwed that up. I'm getting the emails out. We're gonna pop that video one more time. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My Hive, Joe's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in by 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. So we're still waiting. We got people filtering in. Dwight just texted me. So the first two, it will be Miles and Dwight who are going to go. It looks like we got another one joining here. Here's Miles and Mike. So we do have a matchup here. So why don't we, and those guys actually have a podcast to get to. So why don't we bring them in? Bring in Mike there, bring in Miles. So we'll start off with them since we do have a matchup present. That way they can get going to do their thing tonight. Mike. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Miles is Bengals. I just screwed that up completely, didn't I?
How you doing, guys?
And Dylan for Mike's opponent, aren't we?
Yeah, he's actually my colleague of mine, so we both do the Broad Street South podcast.
Sweet. Well,
Philly,
thank you.
so.
Thank you for joining. We're going to have you. You'll be up here in a few matchups, but I do have Dwight in here now, so I'm going to get this rolling with the first matchup. Make sure you guys who are in here are listening. The rules, we're going to explain them. They're very simple. It's not difficult to Sketty, get your stopwatch ready on your phone, though. So I'm going to.
Yes, sir.
There we go. There's a matchup.
You figure it out now?
I think so. I don't fucking know what I'm doing here.
All right.
All right, so here we go, boys. This is matchup number one. So we have Raiders at Bengals. Line's not important. But what we're going to do, here's the rules. The away team is going to go first. They will have – this is going to be handled as if we were in court. So Dwight – the away team will have 2 minutes to state his case of why the Raiders will win this game. And then Miles will have 1 minute to ask questions of Dwight. Not testify, but ask Dwight questions about why the fuck he thinks the Raiders are going to win this game when, Vegas says otherwise, the world says otherwise.
Doesn't matter.
Then after that, Miles will have 2 minutes to state his case. Dwight will be able to question Miles for a minute after that. And then you will each have a minute to give your closing arguments, and we'll go from there. So, Dwight, you were on the clock, brother.
All right. Well, when it comes to playoffs, it's all about who's hot, who's playing well going into the playoffs. We've won our last 4 games. They're all must-win games, and they were legitimate teams. It wasn't just we didn't beat the Jets and the Jags to get into the playoffs. We're beating the Browns. We had to beat the Colts. We're playing legitimate teams, playoff teams. We basically knocked the Colts out of the playoffs until, they kind of did to themselves. They shit the bed against the Jags, but we took care of business. We've been taking care of business. We've overcome more than any team's ever had to overcome. After the Gruden scandal, we lost our number one receiver in Ruggs. We've been playing without Darren Waller. We've been playing without Drake. We lost players on defense, and it hasn't mattered. We've made it happen. We figured out a way to get it done. So we've won without our first-round picks doing shit. Leatherwood's been terrible. Brandon Parker's been terrible. But Derek Carr's been making it happen. Joe, as you know, Zay Jones is not an NFL receiver, and Derek Carr is making him look like he's having 100-yard games. I mean, he's made Zay Jones look good, which is it's a miracle on its own. Hunter Renfrow is unguardable. We're getting Darren Waller back. Josh Jacobs is picking up. The defense is resilient. This entire team is resilient. They've made it happen. It doesn't matter what you throw at them. They've made it happen. So they've gone against the odds. No one has switched coaches mid-season and made the playoffs, not since 1961.
10 seconds.
So we've done what we had to do, and we've earned our spot in the playoffs, and we're playing hot right now.
That's time.
All right. Miles, a minute of questioning. Hammer him out.
Just for clarification, I'm going to ask him questions and then he'll retort.
Yeah, he can retort. Keep him as brief or as open-ended as you would like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess my first question for you would be, I mean, you mentioned that there's a ton of adversity that this team has faced, and I'll give you credit for that. Like, you guys have an interim head coach, and you guys are on a 4-game win streak. But when we played each other back in November, we ended up winning that game. You know, the final score would have indicated that it was, a fairly lopsided victory. It was a bit closer than that, but we ended up pulling it out. Yeah. And so with you guys, with an interim head coach, flying across country to go to Ohio and playing in the cold when you guys are used to playing in an air-conditioned stadium in the
middle of the desert.
In the middle of the desert. I guess my question is like, how do you honestly think that you guys can be successful in playing in the jungle, the frozen jungle?
Well, when we first switched coaches, Rich Bisacia, our head coach, he couldn't figure out how to use his headset. So he's gone a long way. He went on record saying that he couldn't figure out how to use his headset. Yeah. So he's come a long way. He's developed as a coach. The first time we played you guys, it looked a lot more lopsided than it was. It was a much closer game. Joe Mixon kind of took off in the second half, and he sealed the game for you guys. But we were in a midseason slump at the same time. We lost 5 out of 6 games in the middle of the season, and we've turned it around and been playing really well. The defense has stepped up in a big way. Derek Carr's struggles in cold weather are very well documented. But we weren't supposed to win the last 4 games. I thought we were going to go 1-3 in those last 4 games, and they made me look like an idiot, and I have no issue with that. But they've won the last 4 games, and they've been close games. There's no team that nobody wants to see Daniel Carlson lining up for a game-winning field goal because he's going to make it.
That's time.
We're 4-0. All right.
Time.
Yep.
All right. Miles.
A little overtime, actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're letting him go.
This is about as structured as fucking it can get, right?
Yep.
It's all good. I didn't know I was presenting a legal case here, but I
yeah,
try and
you are. Yeah, it's a very proper podcast. Yeah, we
it's all good. Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll start with the Bengals are also a team that folks really didn't see being here. They were not projected to win the division as they had. We actually have the same record. I think we came to it in different ways. You guys got hot at the end. But if there's one thing that the Bengals do is that they've defied expectations. You take a look at a guy like Joe Burrow, who, I mean, his whole career is based on defying expectations, whether it be, being benched at Ohio State and then going on to LSU and then basically breaking every day in passing record with his buddy Jamar Chase, who's now a Bengal with him. I mean, the man thrives off of adversity, and the brighter the lights get,
the better that they perform. I was looking, just kind of refresh my memory. I was looking at some of the stats in their the LSU playoff games that Burrow and Jamar played in, and Burrow threw for about 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, and had about 95 QBR. So this is somebody who thrives in the bright lights, who didn't have a chance in his rookie season to get there and do it. And I'm really looking forward to playing you guys in the jungle, because as you mentioned, Derek Carr is 0-5 in cold weather games. So games that are under, 38 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm Canadian, so I do Celsius, but I think that's pretty cold. I think, right? I think 32 is freezing, right?
Cold everywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, my understanding is that in Cincinnati, it's going to get down to about the teens. And they're right on the river there, so it's going to be a cold game. And you guys have a young, promising kicker in Carlson, but again, he's used to kicking in the desert in an air-conditioned stadium. We have Evan McPherson, who's basically from 55, yards out. So I mean, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I am totally looking forward to it. And
it's time.
Hooday.
All right. 1 minute of questioning, Dwight.
All right. First off, Joe, congratulations. Good job finding a Bengals fan. I wasn't sure they existed. Apparently, I had to go out of the country to find one, but good job finding one. We all know Raider Nation. I don't know why I'm here either, really. Raider Nation is very well represented, but half of them may be in prison, but that's beside the point. But my biggest question is, hopefully everyone watched the Chargers game, and Max Crosby gets after it. Obviously, Joe Burrow's been under pressure all year. Their offensive line is not great. What do you guys think that you can do to limit guys like Ngakoue and Max Crosby and keep them guys from affecting the game? Because Max Crosby is going to affect the game. He's relentless. I don't know if you guys can, but what do you think that you guys can do to keep him from moving Burrow off his spot and affecting the game?
I am counting on Ngakoue and, of course, Max Crosby to be a factor. We are down a tackle. Riley Reef, who is one of our best pickups in free agency, is out for the season, and he did okay against Crosby, but Crosby was pressuring Burrow. I mean, that's what he does. That's what he's been doing all season, right?
Yeah.
That being said, we're much like you guys. We've gone through a bit of a change since we played in November. Our style to counter that pass rush was to run the ball a lot. I think Mixon got the ball about 30 times, and he ran for over 100 yards. So, I mean, I would stick with that. But Burrow is so good once you let him out in space. So, if you're getting him on rollouts, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they had him do at LSU. You get 5 wide, you go shotgun, you roll him out, you let him just kind of sling the ball. So I'm really interested to see, now that we've kind of really kind of matured in this passing offense, I want to see what we can do, because once again, Burrow thrives under pressure. He likes getting hit. Every single one of his family members that played football up to that point were defensive players. He's like a linebacker who throws the ball. He loves adversity. He likes getting hit. I think really for me, just the thing that I'm scared of, obviously, is him getting hurt. That happened last year. I really think that's really the only way that the Raiders have an advantage in this game, is if they knock out Burrow and Max Crosby being the pressure monster that he is. We have to run the ball. We got to try and avoid those pressures and kind of scheme around it.
That's time.
All right. So each of you, starting with Dwight, you got 1 minute. Close it out. Why the Raiders going to win? Talk some shit. Do whatever you want to do. Although I'd be careful, because Miles, it's the first time I'm seeing Miles. He looks like Andy Dalton hit a gym for 3 months straight and just fucking power lifted.
You're not the first one, buddy.
To ever tell you that? Yeah, you did. I see why. I thought fucking Andy Dalton was on the show for a minute. I was
I can see it.
We're going places here. So, go ahead. 1 minute, Dwight.
All right. So, obviously, the first time we played them, they ran the ball down our throats, but the defense has changed. We didn't completely shut down Jonathan Taylor, but we kept him from taking over the game. He's the best back in the league this year. We played the Broncos. We shut down Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. I think they had a combined 18 yards in the entire game. So we can stop the run, and we can force people to pass. Justin Herbert threw all over us, but when it mattered, when we had to make a stop, eventually after about 17 4th and 10s, we were able to eventually come up with a stop. So this team is resilient. They're battle-tested. They've made it happen. If they don't win, it's going to be one hell of a great game.
All right. Miles, 1 minute. Close her out.
Well, I mean, I've talked about Carr's history in cold games. That's going to be a factor. He's coming to the jungle. It's going to be freezing. We are both very similar in the sense that we have, kind of these underdog style teams. They thrive in adversity. Burrow and Jamar, since these two guys have gotten together, have literally achieved everything that they said that they were going to do. Jamar Chase, when he was drafted, told reporters to a bunch of laughs that he was going to break all the records that they had, and lo and behold, he broke Justin Jefferson, his former LSU teammate's rookie receiving record, and in his rookie year at 21, broke Chad Johnson's receiving yards record as well. So, I mean, these guys, like I said before, when the lights get brighter, when the stakes get higher, these guys want to play in those games. They play better when they have the bright lights on them, and they're going to have the entire, they're going to have the whole continent watching, at 4:00 on Saturday. And I don't see these guys faltering because I haven't seen them do it yet. If you want reference, go look at the Chiefs game. It's, I mean, you can talk about, flags, this and that, but to win games, you got to be in them, right? And that's what they do. They find ways to win games. When they got a deadly pass rush, you run the ball, but they can also throw.
All right. Yep. Hey, I appreciate both of you guys being on. Miles, I think, did Chad Stewart find you for me?
Yes, assuming. He did.
Okay. Yeah, I love Chad. Him and I talk quite a bit because we like to share ideas, and I like listening to his show too. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. And again, next week, like I said, 12 people are entering, only 6 will return. We'll be doing Fan Rant divisional round next week. So one of you two, I'm going to ask you to come back next week, and you'll have a brand new, fresh opponent. So if you don't mind, close out. I only have space for 10 in the bullpen, and we're at 9 right now. So if you want to continue listening, please do chime in the comments. But thank you so much for joining. It was great to hear both your perspectives. And big giant Andy Dalton, thank you again. You look like Andy Dalton just drank nothing but protein shakes for the last 3 years.
Yeah. Shouts out to Alpha Power Performance, my buddy's powerlifting gym. That's all
right. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
First one down. So that was good. I definitely enjoyed that. Thank you, Miles and Dwight, again. Next up. Turn your TV down.
Oh,
Hunter.
boy.
Come on, man.
Turn it down. Come on. The Bruins are playing. We're up.
Nobody cares.
Everybody cares. Just because the Sabres suck don't mean nothing.
I don't like the Sabres. Try again. All right. Who's your opponent?
It's your show, not mine.
Hold on. I'll go get him.
Oh, great. I get to go against Dickhead Joe. Great. Oh, awesome. Oh, not Dickhead. Oh, yeah, Dickhead.
There we go. Okay.
There she is.
Yeah, your opponent's back. All right.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to mute people this round. I can tell already.
This is going to be the most non-PG part of the show.
Hunter, you got 2 minutes, bud.
I only need 2 seconds.
Okay.
Bill Belichick. That's it. That's all I need to say. 35-7 against Buffalo. I mean, I am kind of nervous, not going to lie. It's our first playoff appearance without, TB12. It's going to suck. But I don't think this game's going to be a blowout like the last one. We learned a lot. Kind of got humbled after, winning a game, 1 of 3 passes. I think you passed the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were like the final drive. Insane. I think that kind of humbled us. Going to be on fire after getting embarrassed by the Dolphins, which is crazy how you get your first sweep in 21 years and to fire the guy that did it. But that's the Dolphins for you. Defense is going to be on point. It's going to be close. I don't think we're going to see a lot of throwing the ball again. Your defense is kind of pitiful against the run, so we're going to keep that going for sure. Sorry, Kendall just walked in the room and was like, what the fuck's going on?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, trust the run game, trust the defense. I mean, defense, we got both of us have one of the top 5 defenses in the league. I really think it's going to come down to a defensive play. Whatever team can get the most turnovers is going to be the one to win the game, or whoever has the ball last, which hopefully it's New England. I hope it's New England.
All right, we on to questioning?
He's got a minute 30. If he's good, we can bump
only
on.
Oh, I mean, if we got minute 30, I want you to put my screen name
minute
up for me, man. Put the screen names up.
I'm ready. Screen names ready? Can't be up with yeah. So Hunter, first question. If that run game, the 60-mile-an-hour wind Monday night game, right? If that was just the fucking cat's ass, right? We just run the ball. Why didn't they do that in their second meeting?
The same reason that the Bills didn't run Josh Allen in the first meeting. He got one of the best running quarterbacks in the league, and he had 7 rushing yards. Why? I mean, you see what happens when Josh runs the ball. You win. Your offense is more dangerous. It just came down to who, like I said, defensive play. We could stop you. You couldn't stop us. That's all it comes down to is the defenses.
Mac Jones threw 32 times in that game, right?
That was stupid. I would have capped him I'd have capped him at 3. I'm just saying, personal opinion.
No more questioning.
You guys are moving through. I like it. That was under a minute.
So my
2 ready?
Minutes started. Yeah, I'm fucking
Go ahead.
ready. All right, Hunter. I could sit here all night long and tell you. I'll mute you right now. Actually, mute there. You can't talk. All right. I could sit here all night long and tell you how much better Josh Allen is than Mac Jones, how much better the Bills' defense is than the Patriots' defense. I would say the only upside that New England has in this game would be the coaching matchup, but that coach hasn't done a fucking thing without TB12. So I'm going to enter something into evidence here, okay? Just real quick, I want to enter this into evidence. All right? This here is a picture of Mac Jones without his shirt on, okay? That's the fucking quarterback that you think's going to come into the cold, into 0-degree temperatures, 6-mile-an-hour winds. That's compliments to Chad Stewart for introducing me to what a bag of milk is and telling me that it looks like Mac Jones without a shirt on, because he's completely right. But that's the quarterback that you think is going to come into Orchard Park in the first full capacity game since 1996. And bring you a win? Sorry, buddy, but that ain't happening. The air attack is on. It's not going to be as windy as it's going to be 54 miles an hour less wind than there was the first time they met up in Orchard Park when Allen was attempting to air it out, but you could see what the wind was doing to the ball. It's just a totally different. This matchup is going to be extremely similar to what we saw happen in Foxborough, and that's what it comes down to. I'll unmute
Under
him
time
now,
again. I like it. I already unmuted him after you put the graphic up. I felt that wasn't fair. I was hoping he was going to chirp at you.
No, I'll give him his 2 minutes. I don't got to go that low to go find pictures of Josh Allen being gay.
Be chiseled
or anything like that. You know what I mean?
It would be suspicious if you were looking that shit up.
It's suspicious.
All right, minute of questioning. Minute
is that breast milk or regular milk? That's the real question, though.
Breast milk. That's the first question.
They sell it that way in Canada. I learned that the other day from Chad Stewart.
If it's breast milk, that's the bee's knees, man. That's the best milk you can get.
All right. Minute for questioning, Hunter.
All right. Do you really think that it's going to be like the last meeting in Foxborough?
Absolutely.
You think Bill's going to have no new game plan and it's going to be the same blowout it was last time? The greatest
I'm not saying the game plan is going to be the same. I'm saying the result's going to be the same. Mac Jones is going to get it put in a position where he's going to have to throw the football, and he can't. Not effectively, not 30 times a game. And if Buffalo gets a couple possession lead, which they probably will, it's going to be Mac air attack time, and we all know what that results in.
Okay, my other question is, are you high?
Not currently, no.
Okay, well, you got to be to think that Buffalo's going to get a multiple possession lead. I mean, no shot. It's going to come down to the field goal game, I'm telling you. You're looking at, like you said, 6 mile an hour winds, totally different, 12 mile an hour gusts. It's supposed to be like 5 degrees. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. It's nervous to be any away team at a home team's venue. It is. That's instant advantage home team, always. But New England travels well. Cincinnati had to beg their fucking stadium to stop selling to Raiders fans because they couldn't even sell tickets to their own fans. Shit.
Hey, you can't talk shit on the Bengals with Miles.
I'm not. I'm just saying. It's when your team travels well, it kind of takes the home field advantage away. New England travels well. It's their first playoff appearance since Tom Brady left. Everybody's going to want to be there. I think it's going to be loud both ways. And my last question is, what do you want to wager on this? I want to see you. I want to see you in a Patriots jersey. I want to see you in a Patriots jersey on your profile picture until the end of postseason, after the Super Bowl, if we win. That's what I want to see. I want to see you in my Mac Jones jersey until the end of the fucking Super Bowl, if we win.
You got a deal.
And I'll wear a Bills jersey until the end of the Super Bowl if you win.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm in.
All right.
I didn't shy away last time. I already changed your profile picture once. And I'll just do it. We can do that again.
Okay, we'll see.
You both lost to the Colts. Thanks, Darren.
Yeah.
All right, where we at? A minute for closing, Hunter. Go ahead.
All right. Timeout. Let's comment on Darren real quick. What teams are in the playoffs again? All right. That's cool. They can watch us at home. That's fine. We lasted a week longer than they did. Yeah, unless you sign Eli, we'll be all right.
All right, go ahead so we can get moving on to our next pair.
Oh, we got like 5 minutes, man. We've been keeping this light.
No, they have a pot. Actually, we're 10 minutes past schedule right now, so go ahead.
Closing arguments. Like I said, it's one of the best rivalries that the NFL has to offer. It's going to be a good game regardless. It's two teams that have something to prove. The Patriots want to prove that Tom Brady doesn't make New England great, and the Bills want to prove that they can, make it to the Super Bowl. They spent all the time and money building the team, and they built a great team. I just don't think it's great enough to beat New England right now in the playoffs. Maybe when the offensive coordinator takes over and Bill leaves, you'll have a chance. But until then, I don't see it. Just don't see it. You lost to a quarterback that threw 3 times in a fucking game. That's unheard of.
There's Vikings fans out there that are taking offense to this, just for the record.
So yeah, it is unheard of. It is unheard of, Hunter, and it's something that we're never going to see again because they can't hide Mac Jones twice in one season, and that's exactly what they did that night because they knew that noodle fucked arm can't throw anything through the wind. So it's exactly what they did. They didn't want anything to do with him throwing the ball. It made sense.
I hope Josh Allen stubs his little toe on his bed when he wakes up Saturday morning and can't play.
And he'll still be faster than anybody on the Patriots.
Faster than anybody on the Patriots? I don't know.
He's pretty fast.
I don't know about faster than anybody on the Patriots.
Anyways, as I was saying, I agree with Hunter when he says that both teams have a lot to prove here. This is a meaningful game for both of them. This is AFC East, kingship, if you will, for until at least next year. But with the Patriots having owned it for so long, the Bills are trying to make their space now and be the beast of the East. And I think that team is rolling right now. Since the second half of the Bucs game, they've looked really, really good. People have commented on what took place against the Jets and the Falcons, and when it was close at times. I don't think Dable's given people a lot. Those are games they knew they were going to win. And then we talk about the running game where people say they have no running game. They've had over 500 yards the last 3 games. They're running the football well now. Devin Singletary's hitting stride. He's being patient, waiting for blocks. It's a recipe for them to continue rolling, and I think they lump the Patriots.
I think Judon shits all over Singletary.
Judon will probably try and trip Josh Allen while he's behind him running down the field again like a little bitch.
No, Judon's going to put him on his ass a couple times.
We'll share that video on the podcast page too. Judon's a scumbag.
Oh, it's okay. I like scumbags in New England. It's fine.
We know. It's the only way you're able to cheer for a team like that.
No, it's fine. It's
All
fine.
right, we got to move on. Hunter, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you next week when I'm on again.
Thanks, Hunter. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Ooh, that's a good way to end. See ya. All right, we got to move on. We got to get I know we got Mike now.
Mike and
we got Dylan. Those are the two who I was waiting on. Well, I wasn't
welcome
waiting
back,
on at
Mike.
first. Sorry about that, boys. Sorry it's taking so long. We're trying to get through. I know you have a show in like 27 minutes, right?
Yes, sir. How you doing? How's everybody tonight?
Good. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming on. So you saw how the setup's going a little bit, right? Away team being the Eagles. You're going to go first. 2 minutes to state your case. Go ahead.
I think the Eagles just got to come out, play smash mouth football, run the ball, the number one offense, not number one run offense, since week 8. They just got to come out and knock Brady the hell around. I mean, no AB, Chris Godwin's out for the year. Basically just contain Gronk, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard. They got to get pressure on Brady. You got, Javon Hargrave, you got Fletcher Cox, you got Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Milton Williams. They got to get in there and knock Brady around. And, being that, this team is, Eagles are playing with house money. They got Lane Johnson back now on the offensive line. And, it's just beat the hell out of Tampa Bay. But problem of it is the last couple of weeks, the Eagles, beating up on the Giants and beating up on Washington, you were flat in the first half. And, Brady comes out and picks you apart. You're done by halftime. I mean, you got to keep the pedal on the metal with going up against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean,
where are we at time-wise?
We got a minute 15 in, so he's got 45 left if he wants.
You got 45 seconds left to go if you got more.
I mean, since week 8, the Eagles have turned this team around from 2-5 to won 7 of the last 10 games. Nick Sirianni finally figured out how to run the ball. I mean, you got Jordan Howard. Hopefully Miles Sanders is cleared to play tomorrow. You got Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell. And hopefully, Sirianni will stick to, the run game plan, even though Tampa Bay's third in the league against the run. So, hopefully, Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, and Devontae Smith are all just going to have to step up in this.
All right, that's time. Minute of questioning for
right,
Dylan.
Dylan, you got a minute to ask questions.
God, you fraud.
Let's
go. So here's the deal. Listen. What last week that Eagles game against Dallas? It looked like a Temple football game gone bad last week.
There were second and third stringers. You stinking fraud. That crummy Cowboy team stuck their ass in there. I mean, what the hell? Dallas is up. I mean, they were up 20. It was tied 20-20. Dallas's offense didn't even really look good against a bunch of guys that probably be pumping gas in Jersey in another 6 months. Who the fuck knows? If you really want to know, my man. I mean, you got Dak and that Ewok-looking motherfucker who's done. Tony Pollard's way better than that friggin' overpaid pig.
Okay. Hey, listen, it's all right. It still looked terrible. You still had starters playing last week, so
but it was a joke. Away. I mean, they act like they won the Super Bowl.
Hey,
Dak, 5 touchdowns, big deal. Against a bunch of guys who may not even make the team next year. Dallas is going to lose against the 49ers.
Here's my question for you, though. How is Jalen Hurts going to overcome the pressure of heading into Tampa Bay? Listen, we've only lost one game all season. We beat some good teams at home in Ray J with the cannons firing, raising all those flags, Tom Brady leading the charge. How does Jalen Hurts overcome all that? I mean, Tampa Bay's a party town. We love to have fun down here in the Ray J in the Bay Area.
Brother.
Yeah, but
the fan base
right now.
Everybody's
sitting in their suites.
You got a bunch of transplants from all over.
How does Listen, how does Jalen Hurts overcome all this pressure heading into his first playoff game with a rookie head coach as well?
I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm a realist, and I'll tell it like it is. This team has their backs against the wall. I mean, I think they're getting Tampa Bay at the right time. I mean, no AB, no Godwin. Like I said, you got to contain Gronk, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard. You got to shut down Leonard Fournette and the rest of that running game. So,
all right, Dylan, 2 minutes.
First off, I got to ask you first off, Fuji. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles. What type of species are they? Because all I know is Sunday they're going to be in danger of losing to Tom Brady. I mean, how can you say anything else? Tom Brady is the GOAT. I mean, we built a farm here in Tampa for him to live here. I mean, in Tampa, he is the GOAT. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we played
the GOAT's not going to be old come Sunday when Javon Hargrave knocks him the fuck out of that game.
Listen,
that'll be on the sideline sucking up Geritol in the wheelchair.
But in all reality, listen, Tom Brady, I mean, what does this man not do? Even when his back's against the wall, we saw a game against the Jets where they were losing. And granted, the Jets aren't a great football team this year, but we saw a team with the Jets where everything that could go wrong for Tampa Bay went wrong, and we still beat the New York Jets in that day. Tom Brady can do everything. We've had guys step up, and that's what's been amazing to see is seeing these guys step up for Tampa Bay. We've seen Anthony Nelson step up on defense with a lot of our injuries this season. We got our big boy Vita Vea back. He's going to be up there with the beef, and obviously, hopefully going to see JPP back here soon as well. And we got, I mean, this guy rushed all throughout the NFL last year in the playoffs. Mr. Playoff Lenny himself, Leonard Fournette, baby. We're going to be running all over Philadelphia. It's going to be rainy, but Brady's going to love it. It's going to look like a northern game here on Sunday in Tampa Bay. But Brady, he loves that weather. He loves the rain weather. And heck, he beat the Patriots in the rain, and that wasn't even a nice-looking game for Tom Brady. I think Tampa Bay comes into this game. They squash the Philadelphia Eagles, and you guys can swim right back up to the Delaware Valley. And just like in Eagles fashion, you'll get stopped by all the ice that's in the river and, in the water right now because it's so cold in Philadelphia. And that's exactly how the Eagles are right now. They're the cold team heading into this game. And I like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get the job done, baby.
Well, first of all,
that's right on 2 minutes. That was perfect.
First of all, the Little Sisters of the Poor could beat the Jets. Alabama or Georgia could kick the shit out of the Jets up and down Broadway for all who gives a rat's. This ain't the same team the Bucks played back in week 6. It's a different Eagles team, my man. Don't worry.
Okay, different Eagles team. I see. Hey,
definitely is.
Well, listen, just to let you know.
Don't wave the flags.
When we're in the Super Bowl, but we'll send you some gear and we'll send you some Pro Bowl merchandise for your Eagles players so you can at least have a bowl game to.
You could send that hat and a shirt and I'll wipe my ass with it and send it back to you.
No, listen, Tampa Bay, if we're at home, we thrive at home. I think Tampa Bay is going to whoop up on the Eagles on Sunday. It's going to be beautiful.
Where all these Bucks fans been before Tom Brady? When you had Jameis Winston throwing 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Was the stadium selling out then?
Yeah, we were just in the fancy suites. No, we were in the fancy suites. We were looking at our Super Bowl trophies. We were enjoying ourselves.
You couldn't draw any. You couldn't draw flies in that stadium before Brady came to town.
It's all right.
You couldn't draw.
Hey, listen, how many Super Bowls have the Eagles won?
One.
Yeah, we got 2 now. So, hey, listen, we're going to go for 3.
You got one because you bought yourself the quarterback. Other than that team was in the shitter for the last 10, 12 years.
Hey, he was open.
Where was open for you guys, Scotty?
We're should be in his minute of questioning. You're dropping the ball as the host here. I yelled time.
I just love bantering.
I just like listening to these two bitches.
They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. I'm letting it go.
Good job. All right. Take a minute each, starting with Mike. Give us a minute of closing, and then Dylan, minute of closing, and then we're going to move on to the 49ers Cowboys.
Oh, you want me to go?
You have to start.
The road team can go first. That's always how it's been. You know what I mean? The road team. Come on. You're visiting.
Well, like I said, I mean, hey, it's going to be a fight to the finishes. As I said before, it's not the same team since week 6. As you said, you got to get pressure on Brady. The Eagles, I mean, you contain Gronk, you shut down that tight end tandem, and Mike Evans, I mean, you got to just bring it. Like I said, you can't play 30 minutes of football. You got to play 60 minutes of discipline and smart football. You got to keep Brady off the field. I mean,
right, go ahead,
as you said, Jalen Hurts is a rookie. He's going, his first game. He's doing more than what the hell Carson Wentz did in 6 minutes after Javon Clowney knocked him the hell out 2 years ago against Seattle.
As for me, listen, Tom Brady, just start out strong. I mean, we've been struggling a little bit on defense the last couple of weeks with the run. The run has got to us these last couple of weeks, but, we're getting some guys back. We got playoff Lenny, as I mentioned, coming back, who I think is going to be a big piece to add to our team. And again, we're really good at home. We've only lost one game at home, and it was a 9-0 loss against New Orleans, which it wasn't our best game, but hey, we still have some big home victories for us. We got the cannons firing. We got the fans there. It's going to be a full house. It may be a little bit rainy, but, again, Tom Brady loves that, crappy kind of north, Boston type weather because he thrives under that. And listen, Tom Brady's the GOAT. I mean, he just finds way to win. And when you're in the playoffs, it's Tom Brady and then all the other quarterbacks behind him. I mean, that's just how it is because Tom Brady is just a playoff magic man. He's a magic man when you get into the playoffs. And Tampa Bay, we're going to the Super Bowl. And Fucci, I better see that Brady T-shirt on you at the end of the season with the little Super Bowl logo because
is that what you got?
You can add a little one right next
burn
to
that too. That shit.
So
first of all, when those cannons go off, the Tampa Bay Bucks will be sinking hit that iceberg like the Titanic, going straight down.
Hey guys,
going straight down the toilet. You'll be sitting at home next week watching the Eagles play Green Bay.
What really upsets me is that I wish the Eagles and Bucks were playing again next week because I just want to hear you guys talk shit to each other again.
This is great.
Thank you guys both for jumping on and representing your squads.
You guys are awesome.
You want to give a quick plug? What's your podcast called again?
Broad Street South.
What do you guys cover? Just all things sports?
We're 4 for 4 Philly, and we cover some national sports. I'm the co-host. Dylan here's the thing. Look, the host, Angel Martinez, is from Philly, but he actually lives in Tampa now.
Okay.
I mean, we're Philly Bay. Dylan is actually our Tampa correspondent.
Cool.
So,
Dylan,
we cover a little bit of everything.
You guys both did an awesome job. Really appreciate you coming on. And I'll be reaching out to one of you to be back next week. So you guys can enjoy your texting,
you
hating
can
on each
that
other.
Fraud's email. He's done.
All right, boys. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Good luck with your.
All right. This is great. Who are we bringing in now? Timmy, you're on. There we go.
What's up, guys?
Well, how's it going, brother?
What's going on?
All right,
to go against Sketty.
You gotta go against Sketty.
I'm sorry. The good thing is if somehow by a miracle you guys win, you get to come back and talk shit to me next week. So
that's true. Yeah, you do.
It won't next week. But, oh, geez.
All right, hey,
all right.
Niners are traveling. 2 minutes, Sketty. Let's go.
Hey, well, first I'd like to congratulate Timmy and his Cowboys on a great season. Micah Parsons is an absolute fucking stud. Something to look forward, in the future for you guys, which is going to start Sunday, your future, because your season ends Sunday. It's fucking done, son. It's done. The Cowboys have 0% chance to beat the Niners. 0. I'm telling you right now, I should have been on here debating myself because the only team in the NFC that can beat the 49ers is the 49ers. If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't turn the ball over, if the defense doesn't do stupid ass penalties on third down to bail you guys out, and Kyle Shanahan doesn't decide, hey, let's start throwing the ball when we're up fucking 30 and the run game's been working, you have no chance. None. I said it in my fan rant at the beginning of the season. We have the best weapon in football in Deebo Samuel. Darren, we know they lost to the Colts. There was a little bit of struggle. But you know who the hottest team in the NFC is right now? The San Francisco fucking 49ers. 7-2 down the stretch. 7-2, including 2 wins against the 2 seed Rams, who lost the 2 seed because they couldn't close the door on the Niners. This team pounds the fucking rock. They get after the quarterback, which covers up a little bit of hole in the secondary. You got no chance. And that's all I got to say about that.
Timmy, you got 1 minute to shoot your questions to Honorati.
All right, Sketty. So you said that if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't turn the ball over, which, do you know who had the most interceptions this year?
The same guy who gave up the most yards in the league.
He's going to pick off Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay.
Which will be, that'll be nice after Debo has like 160 yards receiving on him. That'll be great.
Now, to be honest with you, the biggest matchup I'm worried about is George Kittle. George Kittle, although J-Ron Curse just got released off the COVID list, how he comes back, who knows? But I think that's going to be one of the biggest things in this game is shutting down Kittle. And I mean, you got so you think that the offensive line is going to be able to shut down DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, and Micah Parsons?
Absolutely. You're forgetting this is a team that won a playoff game 2 years ago, only throwing 8 passes, and they won in Buffalo where the wind was blowing 50 miles per hour. It's
Stop
the same
living in
team.
the past.
It's the same. We're going to see the same thing. They ain't going to let these guys. Micah Parsons ain't going to get a sack because they ain't going to let him get a sack. They just hand the ball off every time. You get 4.5 yards a carry the Cowboys give up against the shitty NFC East. I'm saying it's bad news, Timmy. I'm sorry. It's bad news.
All right. Timmy, 2 minutes. State your case.
All right. So first off today, everybody on the active roster is at practice. They have no injuries. Everybody's healthy. They're getting healthy at the right time. Going to start hitting their stride at the right time. Dak's gonna finally get out of his rut, or whatever you want to call it. That happens to everybody. Zeke is getting better, although I wish they play Pollard more because, I think he's better right now. They got Zeke. I mean, he's got some knee braces now that he supposedly thinks is going to help him. I still think Pollard's better. I think they should stick with him, run Zeke second. Michael Gallup getting hurt last week was huge, but they still got Lamb. Dalton Schultz has come on huge this year. And then, of course, you got Cooper, the old veteran that always seems to come through in big third down situations. And then you go to the defense. They've looked sketchy at times, but I feel like they're pulling everything back together now. Dan Quinn's hopefully got a good setup for the 49ers. I think the Cowboys are going to handle the 49ers very easily.
Sketty questioning.
Tim, what's the Cowboys' best win this season?
Maybe the Saints. No, they've struggled against good teams. I totally agree. However, the 49ers aren't a good team, so they're not going to struggle against them.
The San Francisco 49ers, the same ones who are 8-3 since week 8. What are the Cowboys since week 8? Did they just lose to the bad Cardinals team? Like, not the good Cardinals team, but the bad one?
Hey, it's all in the past. We're moving forward. Hey, we're going to be hot. Dallas is going to look good. Going all the way, baby.
All right. So where are we at? That was the case being stated. Did you do questioning already?
Yep.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so we're on closing, right? Yeah, minute to close. Go ahead, Sketty.
I'm going to keep my closing really brief. I see that James is in the comments here. Timmy, I don't know if you have James's number or if James has your number, but I just hope that you guys reach out to each other on Sunday so you can talk about how shitty it is to have your whole season ruined by the 49ers. And make sure you guys get it. I hope, the best for you and consoling your emotions when this happens, bud.
I actually agree with him. I want to rip that mustache off. But listen, hey, I'm going to bring something in here that I don't care how many fan rants you have. You're never going to be able to top this. Now, listen, Cowboys are going to win. They're going to win easily. Scatty, will you wear a Cowboys jersey if they lose?
Will you wear a Niners jersey?
Yeah, I will.
All right, we got another bet.
All right. Yeah, I'm in.
So I'm not Lee Corso, but 1985 brought me this, baby. Cowboys going to strap up, and we're heading to the Super Bowl, baby. I'm not sure I can get this off. Look at that baby, huh? She's all banged up from football back in the day.
You better get somebody to come over and pry that thing off your head.
I got it. See that?
All right. Hey, Timmy,
thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Timmy.
And again, see what happens this weekend. We might be needing you back next week. All right.
I'll see you next
Probably
week.
Not, but maybe.
Oh man, that was a good one too. All right, we're on to Steelers and Chiefs. I'm adding Jake and I'm adding Jen. Thank you guys for waiting patiently. Jen's been here in the bullpen since like the beginning. And Jen, you're Hunter's mom.
I am.
We will not hold that against you.
He's got to get his shit from somewhere, right?
Yeah, well, you should have passed on which teams you cheer for because the Patriots are a bunch of cheating assholes. So, all right, if you've been paying attention, the rules are simple. Jake, I know, just got in here, so he might be a little behind. But what we're doing is Steelers being the away team. Jake, you will have 2 minutes to state your case as to why the Steelers can win this game. Jen will then have 1 minute to ask you questions, and then we will swap that. Jen will have 2 minutes to state her case, and Jake a minute of questioning, and then a minute of closing for each of you. So, Jake, go ahead. 2 minutes, bud.
All right. I think it's huge that the Steelers have the underdog role. They seem to do pretty well watching them over the 18 seasons that Ben Roethlisberger's been at quarterback. I think Ben's, 13-9 in the playoffs. He's been there before. He seems to come up big in big moments. Not to mention this season's been frustrating, but they have beaten the Titans and the Bills, who are better seeds in the AFC standings right now. I think it's been big that they moved Haas and Howard to center. They seem to be burning the ball better, moving the ball better, being able to pass better down the field. Edmonds and Fitzpatrick in the secondary at safety have been good. Bringing in Witherspoon. A healthy Joe Hayden, Cam Sutton, they're all getting interceptions. Their defensive seems to have rallied quite a bit since Ben announced his retirement. They've been playing better football. I kind of had to talk myself into how they could win this game, but I think if the defense continues to rally and play good football, tackle, Steelers offense controls the clock and Najee Harris runs the ball well, I think they have a chance. I see they're getting James Washington back, and there's a possibility that Juju Smith-Schuster might play.
I didn't see that.
Boswell, he's always clutch with a long kick in big moments. But, the Chiefs are good, so we'll see.
All right. Jen, you have 1 minute to ask questions. Yep.
Okay. Do you think Ben has the fortitude to really come out? He's old.
He is old, yeah. But,
old.
I think he showed it throughout the season that he still has it from time to time. Like I said, if they can run the ball and control the clock, then some of those clutch moments that they need him, I think he'll deliver.
I don't think he'll be able to hear himself.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Very good point. Okay, you think Claypool cannot be the diva and cost your team a game?
What's that?
You think Claypool cannot be a diva and cost your team a game?
Yeah, I think they'll all be ready for this.
Egos, my friend, egos.
All right. Hey, let's go to 2 minutes. Jen, state your case.
Playoffs. Pat Mahomes, 64% completed percentage, 17 touchdowns, only 4 picks, 2,300 yards in 8 games. Come on, man. Besides that, against your precious Ben, whose only really good thing he is dodging coat hangers and rape charges.
Allegedly.
Well, we're 2-0. 2-0. And pass thrown for 584 yards with 9 touchdowns and a passing rating of 148.2. So I think you're coming into the loudest stadium ever. And it's in the Guinness books because we didn't cheat. And I think Ben's super old. And I don't think there's going to be a coat hanger in sight. So,
Jake, 1 minute to question.
Oh, how do you figure on handling a healthy TJ Watt coming at Mahomes?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, Watt's a beast. I mean, I will give him that. He's very entertaining to watch. But I'm going to pray to the football gods that our offensive line knocks him on his ass every time. I mean, but what else do you have, really? A healthy Watts.
A healthy Joe Hayden. my cornerback. An up-and-coming Witherspoon in the
Okay, up and
secondary.
coming, love. Up and coming.
Hey, but they've been picking the ball off as of late.
Up and coming. You have a has-been.
Watch out for those interceptions.
That's all I'm saying.
Dude, Jake, I'm gonna interrupt real quick. I kind of feel bad for you because you got paired up against the pissed off mom, and like I want to get.
Sorry, I had a hard time coming up with reasons that I thought they could win, but
he was digging deep. Joe hates.
I just digging deep. Like I feel like you're gonna need a really big hug after this is all done. You know? So, all right, 1 minute of closing. Jake, lead the way.
I think the keys to a Steelers victory would be tackle. They must minimize the big plays from Hill, control the clock with the run game and Najee Harris, show up offensively in the first half, which they haven't done all season except the last 2 games. Don't turn the ball over. I think in the first contest this season, they turned it over 3 times. They can't do that at Arrowhead. They need to contain Patrick Mahomes, and they need a big game from Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, Chase Claypool.
All right, Jen, 1 minute. Close
I'm just going to say that I'm going to be back next week, and hail to the kingdom, baby.
I just realized there's a chance that I could end up paired against Jen, and I'm kind of.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not going to like it. I'm going to just be honest with you.
Interesting.
I'm going to have to. I might have to find somebody else to replace me. I don't know yet. Real quick, wanted to throw this comment out there because it's fucking hilarious. Jackson Mahomes Juju TikTok collab incoming.
Funny.
If he makes the trip, you can be sure that there will be one. All right, hey Jake, Jen, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. It was great to hear both your sides, and we'll see one of you next week.
Go Steelers!
See you next week.
All right, we're into the last 2. Here we go. This will be good too.
I got a little
stream. We got Mike and Paul. Go ahead, Sketty. What'd you have?
I'd like to give a little tip of the hat to Mike. Moon sucks to suck, pal. I don't know what to tell.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know what, Sketty?
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Sketty, I shaved my balls this morning. Looks like your mustache could use it. Okay.
Moon. The last time the Rams beat the Niners, that fucking goatee was black, bud.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Hey, so is Kaepernick.
I just realized that I'm in the I'm in a room of AFC or NFC West, like 3 NFC West fans. That's insane.
That's
all right, so real quick, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for joining. You were passed on from Chad Stewart also.
That's correct? Right. That's
all
right.
We love Chad. He helped us out big time getting this put together. Sorry you sat in the hopper for so long also.
Oh, that's all right, guys.
All right.
I've enjoyed it so far, guys. It's been great.
Also, we really wanted to note that we finally found a Cardinals fan. His name is Mike Garrett. Is that how you say your last name, Garrett?
That is how you're correct. That's right, buddy.
In our hometown, me and Sketty and Paul here, actually.
Yeah.
We have a friend whose name's Mike Garrett.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whose dad is also Mike Garrett.
His dad is
also Mike Garrett. Yes.
Well, let's not forget that Mike Garrett, the famous running back, Heisman Trophy winner. The only difference is he's black with an ETT and I'm an ATT. But let's not.
Hey, small world, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Who's the home team here?
Rams.
Rams are all right. So,
yeah.
Mike, you're leading the way. 2 minutes.
All right.
Give us your rundown.
All right, boys. Well, first off, we're happy to be on the road, 8-1 on the road this year. That's always great. Looks like we're going to get healthy all at the right time. We got both Connors and Chase Edmonds as game time decisions, which usually he's going to tell me that's going to play. Kingsbury already said that he expects this to be Murray's best game ever. So if he can keep his emotions in check, he's been real conservative since he's coming back from that ankle week, but I think he's going to use his legs. And when he does that, he is a dangerous man and he creates some serious magic. But most of all, guys, getting JJ Watt back for this game is massive. right? Like I don't care. You can tell me he's 30 years old and he's washed up. He's JJ Watt. All right. He's been out 7 fucking weeks. All he's done is work his ass off to get back for this game. He doesn't have many playoffs left, right? And he is going to command a double team every single time. And even if he does nothing in this game, just having him in there is going to free up somebody else. And that's going to free up Chandler Jones, Isaiah Simmons, Marcus Golden, Zach Allen. Like those guys are coming, and they're coming for Stafford. Not to from the offensive line, we got to just play a little better than last week. I was at the game. It was a little tough to watch, but I got a feeling this is the playoffs, boys. This is do or die. We're going to come out there and we're coming in there. We've already beat them once in LA this year, and we're going to come again.
All right. Paul, you have 1 minute to question Mike on his testimony there.
All right. I mean, the big thing, and I think the X factor going into Monday night's game is, what role Cam Akers can play, because obviously the way McVay likes to do things, he likes to establish that run early and often, almost like the 49ers, Sketty. And, once they get that going, that opens Stafford up to do whatever. And, Cooper Kupp is, he catches the pass 5 yards out and gets 35 yards on the yak. So it's dangerous either way.
It is.
The big thing that scares me is the way McVay has done things lately. I mean, look at the way he blew it against the 49ers. I mean, if what he's doing is working, that's great. But when it doesn't work, he just keeps going and keeps going. And Raheem Morris, I mean, it was nice. You got more play toys with Von Miller and things like that. And now things were starting to gel, and they had Fuller go out and Rapp get the concussion. So, now we're looking at Eric Weddle coming out of retirement to play safety.
Yeah.
So
it's like in response to that, if JJ Watt actually plays, he's going to clog up that middle, and that's going to really put a hamper on that running game for David Akers, especially if David Akers isn't 100%. Okay. Right. Now, with that pressure going on, this is one of my rebuttals for when you give you your rate breakdown. If you're worried about Matthew Stafford making Matthew Stafford passes, we all know he's like a Brett Favre. He's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the ball all the time. He doesn't care where it's going to go. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not, right? And we do have the secondary that is going to intercept him and bring him back. Okay, we do have Byron Murphy, who's got over 6 interceptions on the year. Jalen Thompson's quick. Budda Baker is always a threat. So, I got a feeling we're going to be coming for this game.
All right.
Yeah, and there Paul, again with
Paul, go ahead and start your 2 minutes of testimony. Why are the Rams going to win?
They're probably not.
Make up a job easy for me, bud. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real here.
I got the good pair. All right.
They look real good.
The confidence is just oozing off of your screen.
I feel it over here. I'm getting scared now.
Yeah, I mean,
starting to sweat.
That might be that's my mic drop. Right. Back to you.
I like it. Like I said, my big concern for you guys is if we got a lot of pressure coming in on Matthew Stafford, if he starts to unravel, which we know he has in the past, I'm not going to deny his talent. He's got an unbelievable arm. I'm glad he's on a winning team doing able to build a winner, but you still got to be worried about him. I mean, last week we played Russell Wilson, and he's conservative with the football, and we still got him. We got 1 yard away from 2 defensive touchdowns against him. So there's certain parts of our game that we're really playing well. We're getting healthy, and like I said, I got a felement we're going to put it all together for this game.
Well, and that's kind of the same thing where
series split 1-1. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
The demise of Kyler Murray in the second half and kind of the demise of Matthew Stafford in the second half is who's going to be the quarterback they can be and who's going to keep it going.
I completely agree. But like I said, we haven't seen Murray use his leg since he went out with that ankle sprain.
Right.
We saw a little bit of it in the fourth quarter against Dallas when he needed to turn and burn. He's always, and I saw it a little bit last week too. I was at the game, And, he's able to, when he needs to get that 6 yards because he is quick, but he's definitely been more conservative. But this is the playoffs, boys. This is what we come to play. So be ready for him to be a weapon in the air, but also a threat on the ground as well.
And
Paul,
look for like Snoop Dogg in the stands and stuff like that on Sunday.
Oh yeah, you get a little starstruck in LA, baby.
Paul, Darren wants to know how many buttholes do we think Odell's going to be punching this week?
Well, I mean,
did you see that video? Because I didn't know that even happened, and then Darren texted me the video where a ball was picked off by Stafford, or Stafford throws a pick, and he goes to punch to knock the ball free. And just straight squares this dude up right in the
nuts.
Hilarious. It was really funny.
That's better than good old tongue punch to the fart box.
Yeah. I wouldn't put that against past Odell either. He looks like a little bit of a freak. True. So, I wouldn't put that past him. Doing man does in his spare time is his own business.
Very
right?
Fair. Is D-Hop healthy, or is he done for the year?
No, I think he's going to be done, boys, and that's where it's going to really be good because we really have to spread it out. We've been throwing way too much to AJ Green. We got to get Christian Kirk more involved. I think, yeah, and I got a feeling they've also been quiet about it, but I got a feeling Rondale Moore, they've kept him out the last 2 weeks. I think they just want to give him a couple extra weeks on that ankle, and he's a big game guy too. He's a guy that like Cooper Kupp's, where if you get him into the flat and a 5-yard gain, it's a chance at 35 if you give him the speed. So, they got to spread. That's the key to victory is they got to spread that offense around. Zach Ertz is going to get his touches. He's Zach Ertz. He's going to do his thing, but it's the other guys that are really going to have to step up and catch the ball.
All right, fellas. Well, hey, one of you will return next week.
I'll see you next week, boys. I'll be ready to go.
Hey, I'll still be here.
Yeah.
I'll still just be hanging out. Probably in the same spot.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks again for putting me against the easy guy. I was a little worried. I'm like, crap, I don't have questions. I only got one. Fuck, let's go.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be in touch with you.
All right, guys. Good luck. See ya.
All right. See ya.
Paul, well done, bud.
All right.
Thanks. Who's going to win? Or why do you think the Rams are going to win? Well, I don't.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Moon.
Wow.
We made it.
We made it. We got everybody in. Really shocked.
It was not. Yeah, wasn't as structured as we probably should have had it. I was really just letting people go.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, it all started with Mike and Dylan because dude,
well, they were good.
I might just make, because I was thinking about making videos of each rant and posting them individually, but I can't wait to post Mike and Dylan.
They were good.
He's like stroking out.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah, passionate Philly fan. I'll fucking take them on the show any day.
I loved how much he was shitting on the Cowboys too. I was like, I wish I could have gave him points.
That was funny. Actually, I think Darren put a comment in where he was like,
Darren did.
In Philly fashion, this guy's hating the Cowboys more than he is hating on the
I also noticed
Bucks.
that Darren commented that the Colts beat like 3/4 of these playoff teams.
Yeah, they did.
maybe you should beat the fucking Jags, Darren. Like, what the hell? How do you beat all those teams? Like, who did you lose to?
Yeah. All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Episode 43. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you everybody who joined the show. Thank you for all the comments. Appreciated that. Keeps the show interesting. Want to quick thank the sponsors: Swing Juice, Napoli's Pizza, Your Daily Local, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Blue Line Auto, and the Me, Myself, and Ride podcast. Per usual, for those who tune in weekly, we'll be off the air for about 5-10 minutes, and we'll be back with the Beehive Sports Podcast 3-Bagger Show, which this week is going to be the entire. We're doing every game. Instead of picking 3 against the spread, we're going to pick them all. Yeah, that's what we'll be back doing here in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. Take care. Be safe.